So this was my favorite episode of the season so far. Maybe one of my favorite episodes of Mob Psycho. Episode 3 of season 2. Essentially, this episode involves two separate exorcisms. The first one shows a woman who's essentially being stalked by like this peeping Tom. It looks like a spirit, but it's not. It turns out to essentially just be a person using some sort of like powers anyway to spy on her. And it's just like a human. And he's just a piece of shit, and he gets arrested. And the second half of the episode focuses on three clients who basically go to this house that's haunted. And it turns out it's not a ghost. Well, it is. It's a family of three ghosts. And they're just not causing any harm to anyone. They're just existing together so they can live together longer because they all died in a tragic accident. And these clients want them gone just because, you know, it makes them uncomfortable, the fact that they even exist. And this puts Mob in such an interesting and unique position because I feel like a theme of this season so far, at least, has been Mob sort of actually expressing his own opinions for once and actually going off his own feelings, not just what he's being told. And that's literally what happened in this episode. So he's being told by these clients, get rid of this ghost, I don't want him here. And this family of ghosts who have done nothing wrong, that just want to like exist together, are essentially begging for their lives and saying like, well, the father is, and basically saying like, we won't cause harm to anyone, we just want to exist together. And like I said, it puts him in an interesting position because Mob's not biased towards spirits or humans. He sits somewhere in the middle, you know, because he exists with both of them so much throughout his days. And in this situation, it seemed like it's such an obvious pick, you know, to save the ghosts because they're not going to harm anyone. But at the end of the day, it is a job. But to be fair, Regan does tell him, like, he understands Mob, I think, in a way. And he's like, you need to go based off how you're feeling, you know. And he essentially tells the clients to piss off, pretty much like he does like a fake exorcism, pretty much. And he sides with Mob, which I think is obviously goes to show Regan's character. He's a good guy, he really is. But like I said, I think this is going to have a big effect on Mob moving forward in terms of actually going based off his own emotions, not just doing what people tell him to. And at the end of the episode, he said if at some point he decided to stop exercising spirits and decided to exercise humans essentially or kill everybody, who's going to stop him? And I think that goes to show where his mindset's at. You know, he's so conflicted with his feelings and what he's supposed to do and all of that sort of stuff. But I think this, like I said, this episode is going to have a lot of sort of consequence for the future. But I thought it was really interesting. It was a very interesting dilemma that I didn't see coming in this show. Like I said, Mob Psycho has a lot of moments, like really good character moments. And it's not, like I said, it's not just psychic battles and comedy. There are some really interesting and introspective moments in this show. And this was one of them. This is one of my favorites so far.